Welcome to West Des Moines. KC Hockey Club is on the ice. Wearing the black sweaters tonight. Taking on the Fremont Flyers, who will be in the white sweaters. First of two friendlies tonight. Fremont, Nebraska in the first game. Des Moines Junior Bucks in the second game. A couple of skaters missing tonight from Kansas City. Jackson J.C. as well as Carter Dungy. Got Brooks O'Brien from the squirt team, the second-year squirt team travel player filling in for tonight. He is number 44, standing on the blue line at the moment, so you'll see Brooks O'Brien in the lineup tonight for the Pee-wees. All right, warm-up is over. Looks like we're going with 12-minute periods here. I'll get that clock set up. Fremont Flyers in the white sweaters. KC Hockey Club in the black sweaters today. KC is ready. Smith, Bacta, and Allender are your forwards. Smith will take the face-off. Center's tap gloves. McClin and Barron are your defensemen to start out. KC controls the face-off. We're underway. McClin slides it up to Bacta just over the blue line, but just barely offsides to start the action here in this first period. Offsides call. Brings the face-off just outside the blue line. Eager getting the start for Kansas City in this first friendly game. KC controls the face-off. Allender trying to get a shot blocked by a defenseman, doesn't get through. Smith will pick it up behind the net. He's looking to set something up. Back to McClin on the point. Shot from McClin. Tip. Kicked wide. Fremont trying to clear it. Comes out to the point. Just hops over the stick of McClin, but he corrals it and tries to tip it back over to Bakta. Just over the blue line, but cleared back out. Smith intercepts at the red line of center ice, and he'll head back to the bench. He dumps it in, and Kansas City with his first line change. Hargadine on the ice. Hargadine pursuing in the forecheck. Howard and Johnson on the ice as well. Hargadine picks up the loose puck, tries to toe drag it back inside the face-off circle, but poke checked away before he could get a shot. Poke back in as it came out, hop back over. Weisner with a good poke check. Weisner and Phillips on the defensive line here for Kansas City, and Weisner poked it in across the blue line with a few Kansas City wingers already over the ice, over the line. Face-off comes back outside the zone. Hargadine wins it over to Howard. Howard trying to chip it head into the zone, gets kicked back out. He'll come back where Phillips will set back in his own zone. Circle behind the net, behind Eager. Phillips trying to find an outlet pass. On the far boards looking for Johnson. Doesn't get through, sent right back in. Weisner will pick it up. Landon Weisner back up to Johnson. Johnson trying to tap it out. Kept in at the point. A couple poke checks by Kansas City trying to clear the zone, but Fremont keeps it alive. Good pressure by Weisner. It's chipped around behind the boards where Phillips will go after it. Phillips and Howard behind the net. It's cleared out. Johnson chips it around some traffic, trying to chase after it. Puck gets poke checked over. Hargadine looking to pick it up in the blue line. Loses an edge. Comes back to center ice. Line change for Kansas City. Hill picks up the puck at center ice and dumps it in. Cleared right back out by Fremont. Hill and Powell in on D for Kansas City. Hill circles back, picks it up behind his own net. Plays it over to Powell. Touch pass intercepted. Shot right in front. Just wide. Logan Weisner picks it up, sends it out of the zone. Doesn't quite get over the blue line, though. Kept in by Fremont. Bouncing puck chipped over to the right side of Eager. Picked up by Hill. Hill trying to chip it ahead, looking for Logan Weisner. Can't quite get it out. Pressure by Fremont. Keeps it in the near corner. Good backhand pass from Weisner over to Hill. Hill touch pass over to Powell. Powell up to Myers. Myers across the blue line. Cross ice pass over to Weisner. Just across the blue line. They enter the zone. Chip back out by Fremont. A little battle here on the near boards, and eventually it comes back to the defenseman for Fremont. They try to clear it out, but Myers jumps the pass, trying to keep it in the zone. Good poke check by Myers to keep this play alive. It's tied up on the far boards. Little scrum there with O'Brien as well on the ice. Barron will pick up the loose puck, skate aside from the traffic, trying to get a shot. He pulls it back to himself. He's all alone in the shot. Over the crossbar, all alone in the slot with a good shot, but Barron just over the left crossbar. Fremont picks up the puck on the right side, and they'll come into the neutral zone. They clear it out. Poke checked up by McClin. He interrupts that rush. McClin taps it around looking for Smith. Plays it over to the far side to O'Brien. O'Brien across the blue line. Slides into the near corner. Loose puck picked up on the far side by Allender, trying to get a loose pass in front over to Smith. Can't quite get a shot off. Allender picks up the loose puck. He'll play it off the side of the net. Smith will pick it up, wrapping it around, looking for O'Brien in the slot, but it's cleared back out. Barron will pick it up at the blue line, chip it back in. Circles it around all the way behind for Allender. Allender and Smith. Touch pass over, looking for O'Brien in the slot. Loose puck right in front. Smith had a crack at it, but chipped aside by Fremont. Kept in by Kansas City. They play it back down low to Smith behind the Fremont net, but just out of the reach of Allender, and it chipped back out and cleared up to the point. Good job by Allender and McClin to keep it alive. They send it back down low, but Fremont eventually picks it up and they'll clear the zone. Loose puck comes all the way back down to the Kansas City zone. Barron will pick it up. Backhands it around his own net, looking for McClin. McClin trying to chip it ahead to Bakta, just over the blue line. They do clear the zone. Fremont brings it right back in. We got an offsides call. How far are you guys from here?
Like 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not even.
Fremont picks up the puck over the blue line, trying to get a shot off. Good poke check there by Kansas City. Bakta comes away with it, trying to skate it out of the zone. He sends it up through the neutral zone. Turned aside by Fremont, back on the other end. They'll rush it back into Kansas City zone, but Weisner picks up the loose puck. Weisner across center ice. Trying to get ahead of steam there through the neutral zone, but poke checked away. Johnson in a battle, trying to free the puck up for an outlet pass, but chipped back in by Fremont. Howard circles around his own net, heads up the left side through the neutral zone, regains control. Had a poke check attempt there, but he hangs on to it. Howard through some traffic, trying to get a centering pass right in front, backdoor, and they score! Howard over to Johnson. Great pass by Howard as he got through all that traffic, and Howard finds Johnson on the back door for the first goal of the game. Kansas City up 1-0. You guys in like Des Moines properly?
So it's basically like Liberty.
North side of the metro. Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Hill plays it over to Powell on the Kansas City blue line. Powell up the right side looking for Myers, just under his stick. Squirts into the Fremont zone down behind their own red line. He'll play it around, trying to clear it out, but intercepted by Weisner. Logan Weisner plays it back down to Myers. Myers trying to get around some traffic behind the net. Picked off, though, by Fremont. Good pressure by Hargadine and Myers there to keep the play alive. Loose puck comes out to Logan Weisner with a shot wide right. Rebound picked up by Hargadine. He tried to wrap around. He wrapped it right through the crease. Good attempt by Hargadine there. Wrap around, shot it right through the blue paint. Goalie was out of position, had a good shot there. Kansas City keeping the pressure alive. Myers comes away with it. Face-off dot shot just wide left. Rebound carries him to the corner, comes all the way back out to the point. Kept alive by Hill. A couple poke checks by Kansas City trying to keep it in the zone, but eventually cleared out by Fremont. Powell runs back in his own zone after the puck, circles behind Eager. Outlet pass to Smith. Smith gets around some traffic over the blue line, trying to tap it ahead to Brown. Brown picks up the loose puck. Hargadine in the slot. Brown plays it back down low, looking for Smith. Poke checked away, though, by Fremont, and they clear the zone, but a good back check by Smith. Taps it back over to McClin. McClin will circle around, trying to evade some traffic. Fremont eventually dumps it back in, though, and Smith will back check and pick up the puck behind Eager. Smith looking for an outlet pass for Brown. Brown trying to tap it around some traffic, but kept in by Fremont. Fremont down to the face-off circle. Shot goes wide right in the near corner. McClin runs after it. Barron with the loose puck, trying to get it out of the zone. Kept in on the far side. Brown eventually comes away with it. Outlet pass for O'Brien. O'Brien streaking up the left side. O'Brien trying down the face-off shot. Shot right on the right side. Glove save by the goalie. O'Brien trying to get a little clearance there. Forced wide left in the face-off circle, but he did get a good shot off. Glove saved by the Fremont goalie. He hangs on to it. We get a face-off in the Fremont zone with just under 5 minutes remaining in this first period. Bakta taps it back to the point. Comes back to Landon Weisner. Shot tip goes wide. Doesn't get through the traffic. Looks like a Fremont defender got a stick on it. Comes back to the point. Weisner sends it back down low, but eventually picked up by Fremont and flipped out of the zone. All the way down to the Kansas City end. That'll be an icing call. That brings us back down. 4.5 minutes remaining in this first period. An icing call brings it back in the Fremont zone. Shots on goal, 4 for Kansas City, 1 for Fremont. Face off won by Allender, comes back to the point. Weisner over to Phillips. Phillips with the shot, bouncer goes wide right. Fremont trying to clear it out, comes back to O'Brien. He keeps it in on the far boards, taps it over to Bakta, back to the point to Phillips. Phillips trying to keep it alive, he backhands it over. Around some traffic. Poke checked away, though, as Allender was trying to keep it in, and Fremont pokes it out of the zone. They rush the other direction. Lots of Kansas City players on the action there. No shot by Fremont, forced into the far corner. Eventually dug out by Landon Weisner. Weisner into the far near corner from the far side. Picked up by O'Brien. O'Brien through the neutral zone. Poke checked away as he had a little rush going. Got a poke checked away, and Fremont dumps it back in for a line change. Phillips runs after it. He'll circle behind Eager. Looking for an outlet pass over to Bakta. Bangs off the boards just out of his reach. Back and forth over the zone, even though it was picked up by a Kansas City player. It's still offsides for Fremont as it crossed the blue line with the Fremont player in the zone. Offsides call here with just under 4 minutes remaining. Face-off controlled momentarily by Fremont, but it goes off of a skate and cleared out by Hill. Howard digs it out. Howard's across center ice. Poke checked away momentarily, but picked up by Weisner. Weisner down low. Circles around behind the Fremont net, trying to set something up. Plays it back to the point for Hill. Hill back down low to Howard. Howard looking for Powell on the point, just under his stick. And eventually cleared out by Fremont. Kansas City picks up the loose puck at center ice. They'll regroup. Howard picks it up on the left side. Trying to clear it out. They play it off their own skate. Howard picks up the loose puck. Just about pulled it back to himself in the slot there, but kicked away by Fremont. Fremont up the right side. Right winger streaking down the right side. Down low in the face-off circle. Shot deflected, goes into the corner and wraps around behind the net. They play it over to Powell. Powell up the left side. Trying to get it down to Myers. Just out of reach, though, and that'll be an icing call on Kansas City. With just under 2:40 remaining in this first period. Face-off back down in front of Eager. Hargadine, Brown, and Myers are your forwards. Shot from Fremont, wide left, off target. Barron and McClin on D. Myers trying to tap it ahead and get it out of the zone. Kept in by Fremont. Barron gloves it down. Taps it ahead to Myers. Myers flips it up and over the zone, looking for Brown, who is streaking out of the zone. Little puck battle over there. Brown chipped it ahead through the neutral zone, but lost an edge, and Fremont regained control. Myers eventually digs out and chips it ahead into the zone. Got Hargadine and Myers on the far side there trying to keep the play alive. Eventually cleared out by Fremont. Barron waiting for Brown to get back on side. He's on side right through the traffic. Quick wrist shot. Glove saved by the Fremont goalie. We get a stoppage in play with just under 2 minutes remaining. What do you want to do in the Saturday night? Got two choices. You've got the early game. You got your night free after. Got another one about an hour and a half after this one. Loose puck after the faceoff picked up by Fremont. They clear the zone. Weisner back to Phillips. Phillips on the near side. He'll play it off the boards looking for Smith. Smith picks it up on the near side. Trying to get around some traffic. Got tripped up. Kicks it around the far side. They clear the zone. And Weisner picks it up. Weisner will play it back over to Phillips on the left side. Phillips ahead to Bakta. A couple poke checks by Fremont, but they keep it in the zone. Allender with a good stick check. Eventually cleared out by Fremont. Weisner waiting for KC back on sides. He's up over the blue line. Weisner pitches down low in the face-off circle. He'll carry it behind the Fremont net, trying to set something up. He's got Phillips back on the point. Plays it all the way to the right side. Smith had rolled back to right D. Smith shot from the face-off circle. Wide left. It'll carry him back all the way to the point where Phillips picks it up. Phillips fanned on it, trying to play it over to Weisner. Didn't get a good stick on it. It's picked up by Fremont. Phillips picks up the loose puck in the near side. Phillips gets boarded down hard. That'll be a penalty on Fremont. Phillips got checked. Fremont's going to pick up a penalty. What's that? Yeah, right, exactly. Power play for Kansas City. They go with Hargadine, Howard, and Weisner are your forwards. Barron and Landon Weisner back on D. Just under a minute remaining in this first period. Kansas City controls the face-off. Howard jumps right through. Loose puck picked up by Hargadine. Shot goes wide left. Logan Weisner picks up the loose puck, trying to set something up. Drop pass for his brother Landon. Landon through some traffic. Poke checked away. He circles behind the net, playing it up front for Hargadine in the slot. Poke checked away. Howard trying to get a backhand shot, but cleared out by Fremont. Foot race here as Fremont clears the zone and races ahead. Barron pinches off the man on the boards, picks up the loose puck. He'll circle behind Eager. Barron up the left side. 25 seconds remaining. Barron through some traffic. He plays it up to Weisner. Weisner over the blue line. Hargadine in the slot. Trying to get a centering pass. Loose puck in front. Kicked aside by the Fremont goalie. Comes back to the point. Kept in by Howard. Good job by Howard to keep the play alive, but eventually Fremont clears it out. 9 seconds remaining. Kansas City on side. Howard over the blue line. Poke checked away. 3 seconds remaining. Centering pass right in front. Kicked aside by the Fremont goalie, and that'll do it for the first period. Kansas City with the early goal. goes up 1-0. We don't have the time listed, it looks like. Oh yeah, there we go. 6 seconds remaining on the penalty. Power play to start the second period, but 6 seconds remaining for Kansas City. All right, Kansas City will go with their starting lineup here to start the second period. McClin and Barron on D. Smith will take the face-off with Bacta and Allender. Teams flip the ice. And we're ready to go in this second period. 5 seconds remaining on the power play for Kansas City. One quick face-off win and a clear by Fremont, and that'll do it on the power play. Teams back at full strength. McClin over the blue line. Trying to touch it up ahead to Smith. Poke checked away by Fremont. Clearing attempt ends up back with McClin. He sends it back down low for Smith. Picked up by Allender. Allender back to Smith, trying to set something up and cleared around the side of the boards by Fremont. McClin sends it back down low. Trying to get something to Smith. Smith and Bacta in a battle on the far boards over there. Good pressure by Allender. Poke check behind the net. Fremont eventually comes away with it, though, and they clear the zone. Comes back to the neutral zone, or Barron picks up the loose puck. Barron over the blue line. They rush back in through some traffic. Just about got through the last defender, but lost the handle on it before he could pull the trigger. Barron point trying to keep it in. Looks like we got a penalty here. Let's see what the call is. Bacta looks like he's headed to the bench. Not up on my penalty calls there. I'm not sure what that was.
Looked like you signaled the whole
Study my handbook signals later. But Bacta on the bench for Kansas City penalty. 11 minutes remaining in this second period. Loose puck slides right through the crease. Dangerous, but picked up by Hargadine. Hargadine backhands it up. Not quite out of the zone. Right on the blue line. Picked up by a Fremont player with a quick shot. Saved by Eager. 47 seconds remaining on the penalty to Bacta. Shots right now are Kansas City 8, Fremont 2. Phillips picked up the puck behind his own net, sends it over to Weisner. Weisner up the right side over to Johnson. Poke checked away, though, by Fremont. Weisner digs it back out, trying to get around some traffic. Taps it ahead to Hargadine. Hargadine across the red line, over the blue line, trying to toe drag it around one last defender. Just got a poke checked away at the last second. Short-handed, Kansas City applying a lot of pressure. Long cross-ice pass from Johnson to Hargadine. Hargadine across the slot, looking for Weisner. Shot saved by the goalie. Kicked back out just past all the Kansas City forwards that were right there in the crease. 5 seconds remaining on the Kansas City penalty. Powell plays it ahead to Johnson. Johnson across the blue line. He leaves it for Hargadine. Hargadine trying to create some space. Trying a little sauce pass back to Johnson. Johnson comes away with it. Quick backhand shot. Covered up by the Fremont goalie. Good play there by Hargadine and Johnson. A little traffic around them. They found a way to sauce it up to Johnson in the slot. Just couldn't get a good stick on it. Did get the shot off, but covered up by the Fremont goalie. Howard takes the face off. He's got Brown and Weisner on the wings. Powell and Hill back on D. Kansas City dumps it in. It'll circle behind the Fremont goal. Picked up behind their own net. Brown there pursuing. Brown and Howard on the near side. Eventually cleared out by Fremont to center ice. Powell picks up the loose puck, taps it ahead to Brown. Brown over the blue line, trying to get around some traffic. Shot by Brown, high over the crossbar. Picked up by Weisner behind the net. Weisner had it poke checked away as he was trying to circle behind the Fremont net. And Fremont clears it up and out of the zone. Powell picks it up in the neutral zone. Picked up by Hill, who was trying to get a pass away, but poke checked away. Hill will regroup, circles back in his own zone, looking for a long outlet pass for Weisner. Poke checked away by Fremont. Fremont dumps it down in the Kansas City zone, but that'll be an icing call. Face-off controlled by Myers as he picks up the loose puck, circles behind the Fremont net, trying to set something up. Looking for O'Brien, poke checked away by Fremont. Fremont picks up the loose puck and clears the zone. Outlet pass on the left side through the neutral zone. McLean and Barron back on D. Slow shot, trickles in the crease, turned into the neutral zone, chips it ahead. Just out of reach of O'Brien. Cleared out by Fremont. Barron picks up the loose puck. He's across the blue line, trying to get through the face-off dot. Backhand shot off the crossbar. Barron had some good moves through the traffic, just enough to get a backhand shot off, but went off the crossbar and kicked out to the far face-off circle. Drop pass from Barron back to Smith, who's rolled back on the D. Barron playing down low. Clearing attempt comes back to McLean. Shot hits, I think it hit Myers. Attempt by O'Brien trying to chip it in. O'Brien hit the crossbar up and over the net. Loose puck picked up by Smith, who's rolled back down to forward. Barron back on the point. Clearing attempt comes all the way out. And Fremont will clear it. That'll be an icing call. They've had all they wanted for that shift. 7.5 remaining in the second. And Fremont just ices the puck. Face-off controlled by Fremont. They play it up the boards, trying to clear it out. Phillips keeps it in at the point. Phillips trying to chip it ahead. Bouncing puck kept in. A couple good cracks and poke checks there by Kansas City to keep it alive, but eventually cleared back out by Fremont. Good back check by Johnson. He disrupts the rush just enough to cause an offsides there for Fremont. They blow it dead here with 7:15 remaining in the second. Kansas City controls the face-off. They play it back to Weisner on the right side. Weisner coming up across the blue line. Just over his Bachta offsides call. 7:07 remaining. Shots are 11-3 right now in favor of Kansas City. Phillips and Weisner on D. Johnson taking the face-off with Bachta and Allender on the wings. Face-off controlled by Fremont. They bang it off the boards back in the neutral zone. Picked up by Weisner. Weisner over to Phillips. Phillips ahead to Allender. Allender across the blue line. Poke checked away, though, by Fremont. They'll pick up the loose puck, circle behind their own net. Bachta pursuing. Good poke check by Bachta. He separates the puck, kicks it back down in the near corner. Johnson applying pressure, forces an errant pass where Hargadine picks it up. Hargadine taps it back to Bachta. Bachta trying to get it over maybe to Weisner, or I should say Johnson trying to get over to Weisner, but Kansas City has to clear the zone and reset. Johnson ahead to Hargadine. Hargadine trying to get around some traffic. Poke checked away, though. Kept in at the point by Weisner. He sends it down low. His brother Logan Weisner. Logan trying to tap it over to Hargadine. Hargadine trying to dig it out of there and get some space. Try to bang it off the backside of the goalie. Now he's trying to wrap around it. Hits the post. Couple good attempts there by Hargadine. He banged it off the backside of the goalie's pads. Kicked aside. Then he tried to wrap around the near post. Almost had it in. You could hear it clank off the post and kick back into the face-off circle. Fremont eventually clears it out. Hill back in his own zone. Hits the brakes, trying to create some space. Trying to send it back down, looking for Hargadine, but just out of his reach, and that'll be an icing call with 5:44 remaining in this second period. Hard to keep up with it all. Still have time for a beverage. Fremont controls the face-off, trying to play it back to the left point, but a good poke check by Paolo disrupts that. Fremont comes away with it, shot. Stopped by Eager, gloved out of the zone. I think Kansas City, maybe Powell knocked it out of the zone. Loose puck comes all the way back to center ice where Hargadine picks it up. Hargadine's got Brown streaking. Hargadine's around some traffic. Shot, and he scores! Hargadine on the left side. Pulled into the slot, beat the goalie on the left side, stick side, maybe just above the blocker. And that puts Kansas City up 2-0. Some good pressure there by Fremont in the Kansas City zone, but a quick clear and a long outlet pass to Hargadine on the left side. Beats the goalie on the blocker side, puts Kansas City up 2-0. Shots are now 12-4 in favor of Kansas City. Fremont controls the face-off through the neutral zone, but lost the handle. Howard picks up the loose puck. Howard trying to get around some traffic. He skates around two defenders, down to the face-off circle. Tough angle, trying to wrap it around the far side of the net. Loose puck right in front. Smith had a crack at it. Looks like it might have hit a defender's stick. Loose puck picked up by Smith. He plays it back to Barron the point. Barron down to the face-off circle. Shot hit the post. Barron, great shot. Hard wrister from the opposite face-off circle. Hit the far right post. A couple poke checks there by Fremont. Disrupts the play. Causes an offsides. Two good cracks there by Kansas City. Puck just didn't bounce in their favor. Smith will take the face-off. Howard and Myers on the wing. Barron and McClin are your defenders. Loose puck picked up by McClin. McClin skates around the traffic. He'll dump it in the zone on the far left side. Kick back out by Fremont, though. Smith will pick up the loose puck. Smith over to Barron. Kansas City back on side. Cross-ice pass over to Howard. Kicks it off his skate, but down in the zone, just out of his reach. Fremont trying to clear it, kept in by McClin. Loose puck picked up by Howard, shot right on target. Saved by the Fremont goalie as he had his stick laid down flat on the ice. Blocked that attempt. Covered it up. We'll get a face-off here with 4.5 minutes or so remaining in the second period. Howard picks up a loose puck behind the Fremont net, trying to get some space. Kicks it back to himself. He leaves it for Myers. Myers is trying to evade some traffic. Poke check by Fremont, though. They disrupt it and send it back up over the blue line. Fremont clears the zone, rushing the other direction into the Kansas City zone. Good back check by Smith. Smith and Weisner tying up the man on the near side. Weisner comes away with it, and he'll play it up the boards looking for Howard. Howard trying to get around some traffic. Poke check by Fremont. Separates the puck right at the red line. They chip it back in. Phillips picks up the loose puck. Phillips trying to evade some traffic. Touch pass over to Landon Weisner, back behind the net. Weisner looking for Howard on the far side. Howard ahead to Smith. Smith over the blue line. He's got Myers in tow. Smith going wide around the traffic, right in front, looking for Myers. Loose puck kicked away by the Fremont defense. Good opportunity there. Smith with a good play over to Myers, but poke checked away by Fremont at the last second. Fremont rushing in the Kansas City zone. Shot on target, saved by Eager. Picked up by Phillips. Phillips clears it up to Smith. Smith just over the red line. He'll dump it in for a line change here, and he'll head to the bench. Johnson with good forecheck pressure. Johnson comes away with the puck, tries to play it off the side of the net, right in front, trying to flip it off the backside of the goalie. Loose puck in front. Bachta takes a crack at it. Kicked aside by the Fremont goalie. Brooks O'Brien picks up the loose puck. Poke checked away. Bachta comes away with it. He sends it back to the point for Hill. Shot coming from Hill. Doesn't get through. Hits the back of a defenseman for Fremont, and Fremont will clear the zone. Into the neutral zone on the left side. Powell and Hill back. Good back check by Johnson. Johnson picks the pocket. He'll head the other direction. Touch pass up for Bachta. Bachta over the blue line. Bachta down the face-off circle. Shot goes wide right. O'Brien chasing after it. Johnson comes away with it. He digs it out, trying to touch pass over to Bachta in the slot, but cleared back out by Fremont. Powell circles back in his own zone. Taps it ahead to Bakta. Chip back out by Fremont. Hill sends it right back up looking for Bakta. Powell trying to set it in. Good slap shot turned aside by Fremont. Just under 2 minutes remaining. We get an icing call as Fremont sends it in across both red lines. That'll bring the face-off back down in front of the Fremont goal. Shots are 16-5 right now in favor of Kansas City. Allender to take the face-off. Brown and Wisner are your wingers. Loose puck right in front. Shot by Wisner or Brown. I'm not sure who got the shot off. Kicked aside. Loose puck comes back to Allender behind the net. He tried to sneak one behind the goalie on the near post. Clearing attempt by Fremont comes back to the point. Shot by McClin. Goes wide right. Barron and McClin back on D. Allender sends it back behind the net looking for Brown, but poke checked away. Loose puck in front. Went off of his skate. Kicked back over, and Brown was in the far post. Almost had a crack at it, but the poke checked away. Fremont clears it back to the neutral zone. Rushing ahead, but Barron will go after it. Shot turned aside by Eager. Loose puck comes back to McClin, trying to chip it up and out of the zone, but kept alive by Fremont. A couple more poke checks, and Brown and McClin clear the zone. Allender streaking down with McClin. McClin down the right side. Creates a little space for himself. Looking for a pass for Allender on the near post, but picked off by Fremont. They'll send it back down their direction. Fremont forward, streaking down. Barron forces him into the boards, forces an errant shot, caroms all the way around to Brown. Brown chipping it ahead, looking for Allender. Banks off of Allender, and that picked up by Hargadine. Hargadine plays it back to the point for Barron. Barron with a shot, goes right off of the leg. Looks like it hit where there was no shin guard. It's a Fremont player skating gingerly after he took the shot by Barron. Kansas City clears it back out of the zone up to Brown. Brown trying to get around some traffic, tapping it over to Howard. Loose puck chipped ahead to Howard. Kicked aside, shot by Hargadine, just went wide left. Comes back to the point for Barron. Barron shot right on target. Hargadine picks up the loose puck, trying to throw it back in the crease, cleared out by Fremont. Comes back to Barron, 2 seconds left in the period. And that'll do it. Kansas City notches another goal, goes up 2-0 as we enter the third period. Shots are 18-6 in favor of Kansas City as we enter this last period of the first friendly of the night. I thought I remember a couple years ago, whatever that was.
Yeah, that's
The one I used to play out in the settings, so you're probably a good time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was way too expensive to maintain. Put the roof back on.
Oh, really? You take the insurance check or something else with it?
Build an entirely new one.
Parts in the ice making equipment going out like every other week.
New chillers.
Ice is like water and some stuff.
Oh, that's time to just rebuild. Underway here in the third period. Face-off controlled by Kansas City. Smith rushing through some traffic over the blue line, around to the far side. Shot, tough angle. Glove save at first, but couldn't hang on to it. Loose puck came right in front where Bakta had a crack at it. McClin keeps it in. He chips it back down low for Smith. Smith circles around, trying to find an open man, looking for Allender in the slot. The poke checked away, just enough to clear the zone. McClin trying to get around some traffic, but just offside as Allender was streaking back to the blue line. Get an offsides call here. To adjust my clock here, they're playing a 15-minute third period, so I'll adjust that. We're now at 14 and a half minutes remaining in this final period. Fremont controls, trying to rush through some traffic. Plenty of Kansas City back checkers, though. They disrupt that play. Hargadine with a poke check. That sends the puck up and over into the boards. We get a stoppage in play here. We'll face it off just outside the Kansas City zone. Actually, they'll put it down in the Kansas City zone for the face-off because of the poke check by Kansas City that resulted in the puck going over the boards. Hargadine to take the face-off. Johnson on the wing. Hargadine wins it over to Johnson. Johnson immediately streaking up the right side, plays it around one defender over the blue line. Cross-ice pass for Howard. Just out of his reach, but Howard skates over and picks it up. He'll circle behind the net, trying to get around some traffic and send up a pass back to the point to Landon Weisner. Howard trying to clear it around some traffic, plays it back to Weisner. Weisner back down low for Hargadine. Hargadine behind the net, trying to get something right in front. Pass chipped aside before he can get a shot on. Hargadine comes away with it again. Hargadine down low. Howard trying to get a backhand shot, a bouncer. Hargadine digs it out, plays it back to Landon Weisner. Weisner with the shot, and the point goes off of a skate of a Fremont player, and they'll head the other direction. Weisner back checking, Phillips back on D as well. Shot, glove save by Eager. He knocks it down and cleared out of the crease by Johnson. Johnson clears it around. He's streaking ahead with Hargadine. Plays it over to Howard. Howard kicks it off the skate, trying to backhand it back over to Hargadine, but kicked aside. Fremont rushes the other direction. Fremont across center ice. Hill and Powell back on D. They force a shot, goes wide right of Eager. Powell digs it out. Taps it ahead for Howard, but kept in by Fremont. They'll play it back down low. Karam's off the board, takes a funny bounce, goes right in front of the crease for Kansas City, and Hargadine picks it up, and he'll just flip it back down the other end of the ice, try to buy some time. They wave it off. The referee had their hand up for an icing call, but they eventually wave it off. Powell's back on D. Long outlet pass for Fremont. One-on-one. Shot goes wide left. Powell chips it behind the net, trying to buy some time and skate it up the near side. Kicked out of the slot. Fremont comes away with it. They try to play it back down low, but kicked back out by Powell. Comes back out to the left point. Shot gets all the way through, turned aside by Eager. Loose puck picked up behind the net by Fremont. They tried to wrap around, but Hill and Smith tied him up before he could get to it. Another loose puck behind the net. A wraparound attempt by Fremont. Kicked aside. Eventually dug out by Weisner. Logan Weisner streaking up the left side. He's got Powell in support. Weisner forced wide, trying to get a centering pass. Picks it up over to Powell. Powell back to Smith on the point. Shot from Smith. Kicked aside by the Fremont goalie into the near corner. Fremont clears it up and out. Long outlet pass on the line change here. Fremont picks it up. Shot from the face-off dot. Eager had the post covered, but hit the just the outside portion of the post. Kicks into the near corner. Fremont comes away with it. Shot from the slot, goes off the crossbar, bouncing up and back to the near face-off dot, I should say. Fremont with a good shot there. Off the crossbar, can't say living right. It bounces back into the face-off circle and eventually cleared. Barron just over the blue line as O'Brien was streaking back. Offsides Kansas City with 11:11 remaining in this final period. Shots are 23 in favor of Kansas City, 8 for Fremont. Johnson will take the face-off with O'Brien and Brown on the wings. McClin and Barron are your defenders. KC controls. Brown tips it back to Barron. Barron through some traffic around the face-off dot. Shot. Blocked, chipped by a Fremont stick up into the net. We get a stoppage in play here. 11:03 remaining. Shot comes back to the, or I should say face-off comes back to the right point. Shot by Barron. Kicked aside by Fremont goalie into the corner. Chipped back out by the Fremont defenders. Can't quite clear it though as Barron picks up the loose puck at the blue line. He's down to the slot. Shot right in the belly of the goalie. Hangs on to it long enough to draw the whistle. And we'll get a stoppage in play. Shot from the left point by Phillips, doesn't get through the traffic. Cleared all the way out by Fremont. Back down to the Kansas City zone, right in front. Save by Eager. Great save by Eager. Kicks inside with the leg pad save. Into the near corner. Fremont digs out the rebound. Centering pass picked off by Phillips, though. Phillips chips it ahead, trying to get it up to Hargadine. Kept in at the point. Eventually cleared out by Kansas City. Face-off down, or down by the face-off dot. Kicked aside by Fremont. Dump it back down low, though. Kansas City trying to keep the play alive. Eventually cleared out, just past Weisner on the wing. Phillips and Weisner back checking. Weisner loses an edge, trying to circle around and clear it, but he lost an edge. Picked up by Fremont. Good back check by Kansas City, though. Lots of Kansas City players there in support, and they'll eventually clear it out. Bouncing puck picked up by Hargadine. Gloves it down, trying to get a stick on it, but just slid out of his reach. Hargadine digs it out. Taps it over to Howard. Howard trying to get some space, maybe playing back to the point to Hill, but just out of the zone. Had to clear it out too far. Kansas City resets. Hill over to Powell. Powell over the red line. Powell dumps it in, circles behind the net. Picked up by Fremont. They try to clear it out, but good pressure by Howard and Weisner there to keep the play alive. Myers over there as well. Good poke checks by Kansas City. They just about kept it in. Eventually cleared over the blue line, though. Fremont digs it out of the zone. Dumps in the Kansas City zone. No icing. They wave it off. That was Hill, I believe, that played it over looking for Powell. Kept in by Fremont, though. Howard behind his own net. He plays it back to Powell. Powell looking for Weisner, just under his stick. And cleared out. Fremont picks up the loose puck behind their net, circling around. Pressure by Myers there, trying to disrupt that clearing attempt, but eventually does trickle out of the zone. Picked up by Hill. Hill trying to get ahead to Weisner. Weisner over the blue line. A couple good poke checks by Fremont, though, disrupt the rush. Smith and Weisner trying to keep the play alive. Tied up with the Fremont player on the near boards. Fremont eventually clears it all the way back in the Kansas City zone. McLean running after it. He'll circle around, trying to evade some traffic. He plays it up to Smith. Smith trying to touch pass over to O'Brien or Johnson. Johnson with a great job to get around some traffic. Comes up from his knees. Great shot by Johnson. Gets back on his feet just over the crossbar. Clearing attempt by Fremont. Comes out to the point. Barron's going to keep it in at the point. Barron with the shot glove save by the Fremont goalie. He'll hang on to that one. Great play by Johnson there as he got forced down to his knees. Back up just in time to get the shot off. Put it over the crossbar. Then a good shot by Barron. And the Fremont goalie hung on to that one. Smith plays it back to Barron on the point. Barron with the shot, leg pad save by the Fremont goalie. Kicks all the way back out to the point. And picked up by Fremont. Fremont rushing in the Kansas City zone. Good poke check by McLean, disrupting that rush. Back over the blue line, offsides call with 7:18 remaining in the game. Volleyball because we're going to chat with friends and I've been muting it with you. Now she's like, because I was like, don't mute it. I want to hear the action. But that's busted me muting it this time. Face-off controlled by Kansas City. Hargadine chips it back to Weisner. Weisner up to Bakta. Bakta over the blue line on the left side through the face-off circle. Poke checked away right when he was ready to pull the trigger. Cleared out by Fremont. Comes back to Weisner, who's trying to play it around some traffic. Poke check though by Fremont right at the red line. Weisner back on his feet. He comes away with it. 2-on-2. Weisner passes over to Hargadine. Hargadine in the slot. Shot just wide left. Loose puck picked up by Bakta. Bakta plays it back to the point for Phillips. Phillips back down low for Hargadine. Circles behind the net where Brown will pick it up in the far corner. Brown trying to get over to Bakta. Just over his glove. Good poke check by Kansas City. They kept it alive. Hargadine trying to maybe pass it over to Brown, but got a poke checked away at the last second, and Fremont clears the zone. Weisner over to Hargadine. Hargadine ahead to Allender. Allender around some traffic. He's down low, trying to get a backhand pass right in the slot. Streaking was Brown, but poke checked away by Fremont. He'll rush the other direction. Good back check by Allender. Allender taps it ahead to Brown. They cleared out, but picked up by Phillips. Phillips up to Hargadine. Hargadine across the blue line. Down to the face-off circle. Gets it poke checked away. Kansas City caught in a line change. Nobody on the point for that one. Powell and Hill back in on D. Hargadine chasing after it. Loose puck glove down by Allender. Allender trying to get it over to Hargadine. Intercepted by Fremont. Regains possession. He'll circle behind the net. Trying to wrap around. Clanks off the post and kicked out. Hargadine picks up a loose puck behind the net. He'll circle around. Looking for a centering pass. Goes right through the blue paint. Looking for Allender or Howard. This puck picked up by Howard in the slot. Over to Hargadine. Shot save. Picked up by Howard. Trying to get a backhand shot. Just wide right. Howard and Hargadine with a couple loose pucks in front. Wide right. Hargadine tying up his man. He's got Howard in support there. Fremont digs it out. They'll come away with it. Good poke check by Howard, though. He doesn't let him skate it out. Good pressure by Howard to keep this play alive. He digs it out, trying to get a centering pass. Eventually loses an edge. And Fremont comes away with it. 4.5 minutes remaining in the game. Hill beats his man to the puck in the corner. Taps it ahead to Smith. Smith trying to skate it out. Chip pass off the boards to Howard. Howard trying to get it over to Myers, but poke checked away by Fremont. They rush the other direction. Fremont in the far corner. Forced behind the net. Poke checked away. Smith skates after it, trying to tap it ahead. They eventually clear the zone. Chip back in by Fremont. Myers backhands it back out of the zone. Myers trying to get it ahead to Howard, but Fremont keeps it in, down to the face-off circle. Shot wide left of Eager. Puck caroms into the far corner. Barron picking up a loose puck, trying to play it around some traffic off the boards. Can't quite clear the zone. Smith taps it over to Howard. Just out of his reach, though, and Fremont will chip it back in. 3.5 minutes remaining in the game. Howard picks it up behind his own net. He leaves it for Barron. Barron circles it behind his own net, looking for McClin. McClin corrals it, taps it ahead. Poke check by Fremont, sends it back in, but McClin regains possession. McClin over the blue line, into the Fremont zone. Thought about dropping it back, evaded some traffic. Good play by McClin. McClin taps it over to Weisner, looking for a centering pass for Johnson, but goes off of the skate. Maybe the goalie got a stick on it. Good centering pass attempt there, looking for Johnson, but kicked aside by Fremont. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the game. Barron picks up the loose puck in his own zone. He's through the neutral zone. Taps it over for Weisner. Logan Weisner picks it up on the near side. They play it around the boards behind the net, looking for Smith. Poke check by Fremont, though. They pick it up and head the other direction. Good poke check by Lane and Weisner. He taps it over for Johnson. Johnson has Logan Weisner on the far side. Good sauce pass for Logan Weisner. Logan Weisner chipping it down low behind the net for Johnson. Johnson picks up a loose puck, trying to find an open man. He plays it back to Phillips on the point. Phillips looking for a shot, tipped, and just over the crossbar. Good shot by Phillips. It might have been tipped by Bakhta and just rode right over the crossbar. Phillips keeps it alive on the point, taps it over to Bakhta. Bakhta looking for O'Brien on the far side. Bryant plays it around one defender, skates behind the net, trying to get a centering pass, but picked off, comes back to the point. Phillips picks up the loose puck, lets a shot fly, goes off of a shin guard of a Fremont player. Bakhta and O'Brien in the battle. Johnson there as well, trying to keep it alive, eventually cleared back out. Phillips will pick it up at center ice. Phillips trying to play it around some traffic, blocked by a Fremont player. They eventually chip it in the zone, and Landon Weisner will run it down behind his own net. 90 seconds remaining in the contest. Weisner over to Johnson. Johnson off the boards, does clear the zone, looking for O'Brien. O'Brien backhands it around one player, runs into some traffic, comes back to Johnson. Johnson cross-ice pass for Bakhta. Knocked down by O'Brien. We're going to get a high stick here on O'Brien, though. That'll bring the face-off back down to the Kansas City zone. 1:14 remaining. Face-off in front of Eager. Shots right now in favor of Kansas City, 32-9. Just over a minute remaining. Looks like we have a timeout called by Fremont.
Mom texted me back.
I saw them both last night. Telling me they're coming up. I'll call Jenny. When are you coming?
Yep. And she texted me, and I was like, okay, we'll see you like today. Like I didn't know what was going on today, so I was like, I'll let Taylor know, but at a minimum. Then here we are.
Yeah, here you are. Glad you made it.
More skill out here than us beer leaguers.
Yeah, hey, I played some men's league back home. Whenever I watch like my league plays on
It's pretty humbling.
I know, it was a great play. I felt like the wind in my face.
Right.
My barn slowed down or something. Face off in the Kansas City zone. Hargadine to take the face off. Hill and Powell are your defenders. Allender and Brown are your wingers. Face off controlled by Kansas City. Hargadine plays it back to Powell behind his own net. Powell chips it ahead up and out of the zone. Empty net for Fremont. Shot ahead all the way down just wide of the net. Allender looking for the empty netter. Good forecheck pressure though. Allender picks up the loose puck. He plays it back to Hill. Hill looking for an empty net shot. Blocked by Fremont. Fremont the other direction. They'll dump it in behind Eager. Howard chasing after it. Howard smacks it back around the corners up the near boards, trying to get it out of the point. A couple good poke checks by KC, but they can't quite clear it out. Fremont keeps it alive. They chip it back down low. Powell picks it up. Trying to find Hargadine. It's tied up on the far boards, chipped up, not out of the zone. Fremont keeps it alive. 30 seconds remaining. Powell trying to get a clearing shot. Comes up the blue line. Howard got tripped up. Offsides though. Empty net shot. Powell had a shot there, but Howard had been tripped up earlier. Still offsides when the puck came in the zone. I'll reset my clock here. 19 seconds remaining. Powell with the empty net shot. Results in an offsides, but right on target nonetheless. Smith will take the face off. He's got Myers and Howard on the wings. Barron and McClin are your defenders. KC controls, comes back to McClin. McClin taps it ahead to Howard. Couple poke checks there. 10 seconds remaining in the contest. Eventually cleared out of the zone, and that'll do it. KC wins it. Your final 2-0, shots 32-9. First of two friendlies tonight. KC wins against Fremont. They play the Des Moines Junior Bucks in the evening match at 7:30. So we'll have about a 90-minute break between friendlies here. And they'll face off with Des Moines after a little break in the action here and be back about a little under schedule, or ahead of schedule, I should say. So a little more than an hour and a half until the next one. Des Moines tonight, and then one more against Des Moines tomorrow. And that'll do it for your friendlies here this weekend in Des Moines. So KC takes the first one, 2-0.